My name is Mark Blackmore.
I'm Ashley Blackmore.
Ashley and I met at my dental office, actually. She was a dental hygienist that helped our office out once or twice a week.
So we dated 4 months, and Mark proposed to me at the office with a patient in the chair. He told me the camera wasn't working that he needed to use on a patient. So I went to the back to help him, and all of a sudden the staff started congregating together, and then a ring came out of his pocket, and then he proposed. And I was very excited. That was 4 months after dating, and then we planned the wedding for 3 months later in the fall. So
It was one of the first problems that we started to have is that I wasn't ready to grow up. As our problems got bigger, we, instead of focusing on God, we focused on the problems with each other. And the anger, internal anger kept building. The problems got worse. We started, shutting each other off from each other. So as our problems kept heaping and heaping, we just figured that divorce was the best option.
was the easy way to fix everything.
Thing about divorce is it seems the easy way out because you don't have to put up with each other. But the problem with is you end up hating each other. And we did.
Satan got a foothold, and once he gets it,
Yeah.
you're doomed.
We even talked at the beginning, oh, this will be amicable, we'll just, split everything, and that's not how it works. That's not how it worked with us. You start saying things about each other that you normally wouldn't say, things you can't take back. I certainly said a lot of things about Ashley that I wish I hadn't, but it was out of the anger because God wasn't there. I didn't rely on God at that point other than selfishly praying that He would help me fix it. Ashley and I's problems mounted to the point where we got divorced on April 7th of 2009.
So the divorce was finalized, and the girls and I had our house, and Mark had his house, and I had the girls most of the time. We took every other weekend, but things seemed like, everything was simplified and everything was going pretty good. The girls seemed happy, and I had a good job, everything, until one day I asked Mark if he would help me take the girls to the Gaylord, because the girls love to go to the Gaylord in the summer for Summerfest, and it was really difficult to do alone. So I asked Mark, would you be willing to go with me? And of course, he was more than happy to. So that day we went out as a family for the first time since our divorce, and something interesting happened. I really saw for the first time that Mark had changed. He seemed like a gentle and just a really warm man, and I could just tell his heart was different than it had been before.
What Ashley didn't know was how tough of a time I was having. Is that, I thought by the end of it I was so filled with anger and just, pride that, I didn't want her to ever know how much I was, really struggling. I started talking to Clayton a little bit about what was going on, and just telling him about, the hurt and what had gone on with the divorce. And I just asked him simply, and I asked some other people, to just simply pray for peace. He was asking me as we were talking about the divorce, had I mourned the divorce? And I was kind of confused by that. And he says, well, it's a death of a marriage. It's a death, and you need to mourn it. And then he asked me again, have you done that? And I said, no. And he asked me why. I said, I don't want it to be over. I laid it down to God. I can't fix anything. And without you, there'll never be any peace between the two of us. So at that moment, I kind of gave myself back to God. Next thing I know is Ashley and I were at the Gaylord having fun, like she talked about. And I realized, I said, something's happening. Something's... I just chalked it up to a good day. So when the series 40 Days of Love came about, Clayton asked me if I'd be in his small group, because at that point, you know, there weren't too many singles groups that were doing small groups, and I knew I wouldn't feel awkward being in that group. And then I kind of got a feeling one day that I should ask Ashley. What was really funny was the first night after convincing Ashley to go to this 40 Days of Love, the first lesson was on divorce. And I don't think I moved through the entire thing.
I thought it was a great lesson. On the other hand, I really enjoyed it. We were nervous.
We didn't
I
think she
enjoyed
would
it.
come back after talking about this, and you know, I thought, oh gosh, she thought I brought her to this to tell her how wrong divorce is and all this, and but we ended up having a really good time through each of the sessions, and started to hang out more and more.
We started noticing that we just really enjoyed each other's company again. So we saw each other a lot.
And we started talking a lot more together about God, and
Talking the way God wanted us to talk to each other also.
right.
Right.
So we kind of started growing back together, but with God as the center of it. So Ashley and I have been back together for a year now, and we plan to be married again.